Let's dive into one of the most incredible career changes in history, the story of Joseph. We're going to use the book of Genesis as our map, but we'll also be using the commentary of the great scholar Rashi as our guide to see all the hidden details. We're about to find out how a man goes from a dungeon to pretty much running ancient Egypt, all in a single day.
I mean, seriously, this is the question at the heart of it all, right? This isn't some slow and steady climb up the corporate ladder. No. This is a sudden, whiplash-inducing transformation that almost feels impossible. So how on earth did it happen?
Well, it all kicks off with Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. He's been having these really troubling dreams, and none of his wise men can figure them out. That's when Joseph, a Hebrew prisoner, gets called up. And he doesn't just explain the dreams, he lays out this whole master plan to save the entire country from a massive famine. And Pharaoh's reaction? It's instant, and it's total.
I mean, just listen to that. It's stunning. Pharaoh doesn't say, "Great, you're hired." He basically says, "Here are the keys to the kingdom." He sees Joseph's wisdom as something divine, something special, and in a single moment, he makes him the second most powerful man in the entire empire.
And get this, Joseph was only 30 years old. 30! He just spent the last 13 years as a slave and then a prisoner, completely cut off from his family, his home, everything he ever knew. And now, at an age where most people are just figuring things out, he's handed control of a superpower. Can you even imagine the pressure?
But here's the thing about power. It's not enough to just have a title. People need to see it. Pharaoh knew this, so he immediately set up this big public ceremony using these really powerful symbols to show everybody in Egypt exactly who was in charge now. The first symbol is maybe the most important, Pharaoh's own signet ring. Now, this was not just a piece of jewelry. In the ancient world, that ring was your signature. You'd press it into wax to seal documents, to make laws. Giving it to Joseph was like giving him a blank check with the king's authority. And this is where a guide like Rashi is so helpful. He explains that this single act was crystal clear to everyone watching. There was no ambiguity. Pharaoh putting that ring on Joseph's finger was him saying to the world, "This man speaks for me. His orders are my orders." Next up, the ultimate makeover. Joseph is taken out of his dirty prison clothes and dressed in the absolute finest stuff you can imagine. Robes made of fine linen and a big, heavy gold chain. And again, Rashi gives us the inside scoop. This wasn't just about looking good. In Egypt, fine linen was basically reserved for royalty and the highest priests. So putting these robes on Joseph was like giving him the uniform of the absolute elite. Everyone would know his rank just by looking at him. And the whole ceremony climaxes with this huge parade. Joseph is put in the second royal chariot, the one that always rode right next to Pharaoh's. They parade him through the streets, making his new status completely, totally undeniable to every single person. So as he's riding through the streets, people are shouting out this word, avrech. Now, the official Egyptian meaning is basically bend the knee, a clear command for people to show respect. But the rabbinic commentators like Rashi, they spot this amazing little wordplay in Hebrew. They suggest it could be a mix of two words, av, which means father, and rak, which means tender or young. So a father in wisdom, but still young in years. I mean, how perfect is that for our 30-year-old viceroy? Okay, so Joseph has the power, he's got the look, he's got the authority. Now it's time to get to work. Because his promotion wasn't just for show. It was to pull off a plan that would save not just Egypt, but the whole known world from starving. And his plan was just a work of genius. You can see it here. It was a huge logistical operation. Collect all the extra grain during the good years and then store it locally in cities so it's easy to get to later. But check out that detail in step 4, which we get from Rashi. Joseph had them mix a little bit of local soil in with the grain. Why? Well, Rashi explains this was an ancient trick to keep the grain from rotting over many, many years. It's just brilliant practical wisdom. And the success of this plan, it was almost unbelievable. The text says they gathered so much grain it was like the sand of the sea. They actually stopped counting it because it was just impossible. The plan didn't just work, it worked beyond anyone's wildest dreams.
So Pharaoh knew that for Joseph to be able to rule over Egyptians, he had to be an Egyptian, at least on the surface. His transformation had to go deeper than just clothes and a chariot. It had to be cultural, it had to be social.
So Pharaoh arranges the final pieces. He gives Joseph a new Egyptian name, which gets rid of that last bit of his foreign identity. and he arranges for him to marry Asenath, the daughter of a really powerful priest. This move cements Joseph's place right inside the Egyptian aristocracy.
And that new name, Zaphenath Paneah, is so cool. According to Rashi, it means the one who explains hidden things. His new identity wasn't random at all, it was basically his job description. It forever defined him by the exact skill that got him out of that dungeon in the first place, his ability to see what was hidden from everyone else. So, Joseph has the power, he has the plan, he has a new identity. But what about the man himself? What about all that trauma? Being betrayed by your own brothers, sold into slavery, thrown in prison for something you didn't do? The final piece of his story, and maybe the most powerful, is revealed in the names he gives to his children.
So during those 7 good years, while he's busy saving the world, Joseph also starts a family. He and his wife Asenath have 2 sons. And the names he picks for them, well, they give us this incredible window into what's going on in his heart and his head.
He names his first son Manasseh. The name literally means to make forget. With this name, Joseph is basically saying that his new life, his new blessings have been so overwhelming that they've started to heal the pain of his past, the betrayal, the hardship, all of it. He's making a conscious choice to move forward.
And he names his second son Ephraim, which means to flourish or to be fruitful. And this is the next step, and it's so profound. See, it wasn't just enough to forget the pain. Joseph recognizes that he has actually managed to thrive, to build a new life, and find blessings in the very place where he suffered. Egypt was the land of his affliction, and now it's the land where he is flourishing.
And that kind of leaves us with this final powerful question, doesn't it? Joseph's story seems to show us this 2-step process for truly overcoming the past. First, there's the gift of being able to forget the trauma. But then, maybe even more importantly, there's the ability to find a way to flourish, not just in spite of your suffering, but right there in the middle of it. It's a blueprint for resilience that is just as powerful today as it was thousands of years ago.